Okay, I'm trying to not be like too sciencey.
Yeah.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for tuning back in. A new episode of Tanner and Marley. Episode 1 of 2. So, yeah. First of all, I did want to open up by saying that today is the last day to sign up for my program. It's a 6-week program, and I have kept it open for another week just because I feel compelled to help more people, and I know there's people out there that are ready to make a commitment like this, and I'm super excited for this program. I'm doing it with you all. There's nutrition guidance, there's a Facebook group, there's book recommendations, the workout plans, all exercises are recorded. This girl's doing it, and we're gonna get strong and fit. Head over to my website, it's linked in the bio. It is linked in the bio if you're interested. So let's start by talking about this girl. This is my little sister. She used to have blonde hair. Oh my gosh, it's weird looking at the camera, honestly. Used to be that color. Yes, it did. And she is a senior in undergrad. She's a molecular biology, biochemistry and molecular biology. Yeah. Dietology. Yeah. Dietology. Yeah. Dietology. Maybe like biochemistry and molecular biology. She's smart. We both have interest in science and we both are very fascinated by the body, but I think it's really cool because I want to share with you all how different of a view we have. Like, I'm very focused on, and it's just kind of naturally and organically happened for me, but I love like lifestyle coaching. I love picking at people's mindset and watching people have these big breakthroughs in their life. And I like to help people become the best version of themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, while she really likes to dig in internally. And so I'm here to learn today too. I picked some of the most frequently asked questions that I've answered, that I've gotten from my social media, from YouTube, just from my clients. And I thought I would ask them to her and see if we can get a whole nother answer on this and see what's happening on the inside of our body instead of only focusing on exercising and nutrition and what we're putting into it. So hopefully this will give you all a better understanding, give me a better understanding, make me a better coach, and you a healthier person as well. Without further ado, let's get to question 1. Alright, so let's talk about metabolism. What's metabolism and how can we actually speed it up? Okay, so metabolism in this industry, the one that you all are probably interested in, is thought to be that we eat some food and break it down and we use it for energy, and that's kind of the whole idea of metabolism in the fitness industry. But if you really, really look at it from a scientific level, metabolism is every single chemical reaction that goes on in your body. Every single one, no matter what is happening. So, you have catabolic and anabolic reactions in your body. One breaking something down, which would be your catabolic, and one making something, your anabolic. So, the 3 main purposes of metabolism. 1, to obtain energy from the food that you eat, as well as anything else in your body. You can get energy from anything that you're breaking down. 2, to synthesize macromolecules. The ones that you're taking in, those macros, those 3 main ones: fats, protein, carbohydrates. Oh yeah. But you can also make nucleic acids, which would make up your DNA. So those are all things you can make in the body, as well as hormones and steroids, which as women we know can just really screw us up. Well, so metabolism can have everything to do with the food you eat or nothing to do with the food you eat. So how can we speed up our metabolism? Okay, so there's
no one set answer on how you're going to speed up your metabolism. There are a ton of theories and there are a ton of great ideas. But the main thing that you definitely have to know is that you need to go through what are called metabolic shifts. So you need your body to go into a refed state in the morning to have something to eat. And then you need to go into what they would call a starvation state, to where your body has nothing to use for energy except what's already there, what's already being stored. The glycogen is the storage of glucose. The lipid droplets, which stores those triacylglycerols and fatty acids. And then your protein can be taken from your muscles, and you can break that down for energy. Obviously, you don't want to get to that point, but right, that would be your severe starvation.
You want to be able to refeed yourself again, and that's why eating like small meals a day is a great idea, because you are constantly feeding yourself a little bit, going back down to a starvation rate, using some stuff up, feeding yourself a little bit, back and forth, allowing your metabolism to work really, really hard and use what's already in your body.
And by starvation rate, you don't mean like so hungry that you literally can't
No.
the kitchen.
No, starvation in like a scientific term, it literally just means you don't have anything left of what you took in from your previous meal. And that is it.
Alright, the second question I get asked a lot is, what does muscle hypertrophy mean, and what can it do in terms for the body? Can building up muscle, can that really help with fat loss, or just explain what hypertrophy is?
Okay. So hypertrophy is when we basically are building up our skeletal muscle cells. Our skeletal muscle cells do not replicate themselves, and so the only way we're going to do that is by damaging them, literally. And so just like when you get a cold, you have these immune responses that come in and heal it. When you are lifting weights, if you're lifting enough, lift heavy, and are using more muscle mass than you typically would when you're opening a door or walking, then you're going to cause these micro tears in your body that allow cytokines, which are immune cells, a broad term for immune cells, come in and heal up this muscle. While it's doing that, it's bringing in all of this other stuff to help heal it, and you're allowing those muscles to grow. So fat loss is tricky, especially in women. They used to only look at fat, they would compare men and women together, but we are obviously not men. And they used to just pretend that we were smaller men, and we're not, because we have these hormonal profiles as women. Most men have similar hormonal profiles. They have high testosterone with a couple of other things thrown in there. And what works for them may not work for us because of our differences. So, in humans, it's our fat percentage in our body. I use my hands so much.
Yeah. You're gonna smack me on the face. You, come here.
No, our fat percentage typically remains pretty stable, and the reason for that is that those triacylglycerols, those tags that are in those fat cells, so those triacylglycerols are made up of 3 fatty acids, and when they're broken down in the body, sometimes they reesterify straight back into a triacylglycerol and are stored again. Because in women, we were meant to be pregnant and have children and maintain enough body mass for you and the baby. Men just had to supply one thing. And so that's the main difference between us and men. And so the reason that fat loss happens when we go through hypertrophy. The reason that fat loss happens when we go through hypertrophy. I used to call it hypertrophy. Hypertrophy.
Same thing.
Hypertrophy. The reason that fat loss happens when we go through hypertrophy is that you're using these skeletal muscles so much that instead of using those fatty acids that were used in breakdown and reesterifying them straight back into a tag, we take those fatty acids, break them down into acetyl-CoAs and other things that can be thrown into glycolytic pathways, and use that for energy and other things to rebuild that muscle that we broke down.
So,
does that make sense?
In fitness terms, what she's saying is, we have so many fatty acids in our body, you're not necessarily going to get rid of those triglycerides. You're not going to get rid of them, but when you do lift heavy, they're going to kind of split and part ways, and part of them are going to be used to help support the muscle, to grow the muscle back, heal the muscle, right? And then the other ones will go back to their normal role of a fat cell.
Right.
And that's what she's saying. So what I'm saying is, why not make your fat cells do more work, right? And I'm trying to teach that to us in general, like, go hard, do more. You are capable of so much more. Let's do the same thing for our fat cells. Put some pressure on them, put some resistance on them, and make them work too.
Disclaimer, there are a ton of
things that we cannot control that can affect the way you lose fat, gain muscle, etc. So don't beat yourself up when it's not happening just like you want it to. Some people have, you don't have to add this in here, but it's a cool little thing. Some people have this gene for leptin, which is a hormone that allows you to feel hungry way easier than other people. And so if you don't have that gene, I don't have that gene, then your appetite isn't suppressed as easily. And she was saying earlier before this video is to really reiterate to everyone that we are all different human beings. Every body is different. Every single body is different, and what's inside our bodies are different. God made us unique, and so she's teaching us these things, but this is not going to apply to every single body. This is going to apply to the normal, healthy individual. Question number 3. What does high stress do to our body? Does it hurt our progress? What is this cortisol level that people are talking about? I'll get back to it. Okay, so stress. We have this hormone called cortisol that is released as soon as you become stressed out. It's a glucocorticoid steroid that is made in your adrenal gland. And so when it is released, its main job is to break down. So if you're trying to build muscle, it is doing the exact opposite of what you're wanting to do. And the reason it does this is because cortisol wants to control your blood glucose levels. And so with metabolism, that's one of the main goals of metabolism, is to maintain those blood glucose levels, because that measures when you feel refed, that measures when you feel starved. That ties into everything of why we would catabolize something or not.
In regards to muscle buildup, is that it uses the amino acids that make up those proteins. It breaks down the proteins, takes the amino acids, and throws them into all of these respiration pathways. And it's used in a process called gluconeogenesis, where it creates glucose and raises the blood glucose levels, because you are in a fight or flight state. You don't know why you need the stuff you need because you're stressed, but you need it. Your body thinks so. And so it's creating all this stuff, but it's using what you already have. So your muscle buildup is declining without you knowing.
Question number 3 is, why are muscles so sore after a workout? Okay, I'm excited about this one. Okay, so I got super excited when I learned about this in school, because I've always thought it was lactic acid that was the reason we got cramps and we were sore after a workout. But in fact, we don't even have lactic acid in our skeletal muscle. We have what is called lactate, which is just basically a different form of the molecule. One little OH group here or there. So, lactate is involved in getting rid of acid and using it for other molecules in other organs in our body, like our heart and our liver mainly.
What is causing the soreness in our body is the acidic environment that's caused when we are breaking down all of that ATP, which is quote-unquote energy, and we break down that ATP. It causes an increase in acidity in the muscles, which then causes a soreness or that pain when you're lifting and you start to feel that burn. And then kind of like when you eat too many, too much pineapple and your tongue starts to ache and burn.
This is a question I get a ton from my female clients. They say, I want to lean out, I want to get toned, but I do not want to get bulky. So, Marley, will lifting weights make you bulky? It could make you bigger looking, but it will not make you bulky. Potato chips plus lifting equals mass. So, here's why. Like we said earlier, the metabolism uses catabolic and anabolic reactions based on what your body needs if you're working properly. So, if you are bringing in a surplus of food, as well as going through hypertrophy, as well as going and damaging your muscles, you are going to store the surplus. Your body is also breaking down your muscle because you're lifting heavy, and so your muscles grow as well because of those immune responses. So then you appear bigger because you have layers of storage as well as massive biceps from your curls for the girls. In conclusion, I think from the questions that we did decide to answer in episode 1 are that everybody's different, and it's important. I don't like to use the word balance, but in this essence, it's important to find balance in your body so that you can be the most efficient person, the most energized person that you can be, as well as have the desired look that you're looking for.
I think it's important to remember that there are all of these things going on in our bodies that we may not realize and understand, and you have to go through a period of time to figure out your balance, right? That's why I'm never going to give you a program without talking about nutrition, ever. At least bring it up and see what you're eating and see your habits so that these two things can work together.
No, I'll put her information in the description box if you do have any science questions or you're a science nerd and like to understand what goes on in the body. We will be doing an episode 2. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. We sure had fun creating it. We'll be back, don't you worry. I know you're gonna miss us.
If you all
Till
are
the next
wondering,
episode.
every picture she's ever posted.
Yes, she's my photographer, my informative person, and my best friend, so we can...
And if we said anything wrong, let us know. But
Yeah.
don't think we did.
I'm sure we didn't. No, but thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, no worries.
I hope you all have an awesome day.
Go lift some weights, go eat some food, drink your water, sleep good, don't be stressed, be happy. We love you.
See you in the next episode. Woo!